Here we are.
Anyone out there? Happy Monday, everyone. We hope you are having a good day so far and that you and your family are having good health and keeping your stress levels under control. We know with everything that's going on in Ontario anyways right now that we're kind of all nervous about a second wave hitting, and so I think a lot of us have been on edge. So we hope that you're doing well, and if there's anything we can do to help you navigate through any of your concerns, make sure that you're reaching out to us, and we'll make sure that you get what you need to help you through these tough times. So we're here for our regularly scheduled programming.
A day late.
A day late because someone forgot that my birthday party, and that person being me, was moved to Sunday for a nice dinner and with family, and then this guy had soccer, so it kind of posed a very crazy day for us. So anyways, here we are now.
We were able to get it done. That's okay. We're here now.
We're here now. We can add some more personal experiences actually because of a result of some indulging we've done, so we'll be able to make this topic even richer for you. And so this week's topic is gut health and how it connects and is a big part of how your immune system responds, as well as your stress response in your body. So hopefully you'll learn some cool things from today's little chat. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you pop them up in the comment section below if you're watching live, or if you're watching on the playback, we'll make sure we get back to you. So this is like your kind of area of expertise. So Derek, for those of you who don't know, has taken some holistic nutrition courses, and this being one of his favorite topics to talk about. So I'm going to try to zip it a little more so that he can give his expertise. This is really his place. But it is a topic that has really got my interest because we weren't taught these things in school, and this is another layer of health and wellness that can totally change your way of well-being, and it's made such a huge difference in our lives. And when we're off track, we definitely notice it, and we'll get to why that is, and we'll dive through some doTERRA products that can help, as well as some practical nutritional tips that Derek has to give. So
all right,
he doesn't believe me that I'm gonna zip it, so
yeah, that's what I
it's already ruined.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
So where do we start? Well, we start at the basics, start at food, right? So when we're talking about food and that overall wellness that we're all trying to work towards, and we always talk about that before we start diving into other solutions, right? Because what you're doing to yourself is always like part of the most important part of this whole thing. So one of the things I think people don't realize so much is some of the foods you're eating contain antibiotics. So 90% of all antibiotics consumed in the world are consumed by animals, all right? So that's a big deal. And when you eat something, it doesn't just magically go away. It stays in your body. It's part of your body. It's part of what you get when you eat or consume a product from that animal. So in Canada, we have some really good laws that protect against that for animals, right? Animals are a specific group, the way that they put this together. So for cattle and pigs, they must be antibiotic free in Canada. And they test that, and the government tests that and ensure those regulations are followed. But chickens and fish, turkey, they don't fall in those. Those are fowl and fish, and those rules don't apply. So they feed those poor animals get fed antibiotics nonstop for their whole entire life, and then you eat them. So it can be very challenging sometimes to find antibiotic-free chicken or antibiotic-free fish, but that's what you would really want to be looking for to make sure you're not consuming these antibiotics that you don't need. When you need antibiotics, you need them, very, very important, but you don't need them every day all the time coming in your food. So I think that's one area that people don't realize that kind of throws off their gut bacteria and gut flora, is that they're ingesting these antibiotics that they don't even know that they're getting. Another way that we can help with food is eating fermented products. Kombucha, sauerkraut, any fermented anything that you like. Fermented soys, tempeh, a really, really good fermented soy. So anything fermented actually helps bump up your gut flora. Yeah, pickles,
beans.
Yep, all those preserves are really, really good for that. And then things like mushrooms. very, very good for, they're called prebiotics, right? We have probiotics, which a lot of people know about, but prebiotics are the food that you eat that help you create more happy gut flora. So it's always important to be doing those kinds of things so that you're doing the good side, right? And making sure you're looking after the good side. But sometimes we get so far off track that and I can't believe Gwen hasn't talked yet. It's really good.
They can probably all tell that my head's like, I have all these things
Oh,
to say,
she's
but
got
I'm
500
afraid
things.
to
She's letting me go. This is awesome. I never get to go this long. I'm almost out of breath.
I'm waiting for like a cue for when I could jump in or something.
Not yet. I'm still going.
I need like a piece of tape.
So once we look after that food component, and sometimes things go off track. So you've had a bad couple weeks of eating. That happens in these times. That can happen. Or you've had to take antibiotics for some reason and things go off track in your gut flora. Or just the changing seasons. We change foods. Now we're going to be moving into soups and stews and roots and heavy foliage and all these things of fall, pumpkin. And it's a very different meal plan for a lot of people when they come out of the summertime, when it's easy and cold things and salads and lots of barbecuing, into this more hearty, warming time frame that we go into in the fall. So those change in seasons definitely need a little support.
I'm just laughing because he looks like he has this look on his face when he looks at me that he's going to get interrupted, and I'm just...
No, I'm going to let her talk now. It's all good.
You're going to let me... Why, thank you for
very
letting me
welcome.
talk. It's just, I was thinking, just to backtrack a little bit on what you're saying, when you're talking about antibiotics and what they can do to our bodies, but also the maybe unknowing ways that we are getting those antibiotics into our bodies. So if you eat animals, like, you are going to be getting that secondhand antibiotic use, right? Because something that I heard a while back wasn't that, because we all know this, you are what you eat, right, is what people say. And then I heard, along the lines of me and all my learnings that I've done with nutrition and with holistic healing and holistic healthcare, is that we're not what we eat. We're actually what we are after what we eat passes through us. So after all that waste is exited, right, we are what's ever left after that process. So after it gets absorbed through your intestines and into your bloodstream and goes into your whole body, like the nutrients and the vitamins that are all part of what you have eaten stay with you. Like, that's what makes you who you are and what you are, right? Instead of just
Very true.
oh, I'm eating an apple, so I'm eating healthy. Well, if you're absorbing the nutrients and the vitamins that you need from that apple, true. But if you're not able to absorb, and it's just passing through you, or it's not that nutritionally dense, then you're not really eating healthy, right? So that was just something I was thinking when you're saying that.
So other areas that can go wrong with this whole process, is your digestive system working properly? So do you have saliva in your mouth? When it goes in your stomach, are you taking any kind of antacids or medication to control reflux? Those medications throw off all the acid in your stomach, making it harder for your body to digest those foods. Do you have the gut flora and the bile and all the mucus in your GI tract that you need? And that's what we're really focusing on today, is that making sure you have the bacteria growing down here, that's the good kind, that makes you digest food properly.
Yeah, are you absorbing everything in the best efficient way, right? If you've noticed that you've had food sensitivities or allergies, or after you eat certain things, your body reacts a certain way, like especially in the gut area. Like, are you experiencing bloating or discomfort in your stomach? Have you been noticing like how you feel throughout the day? Do you get really hungry all of a sudden instead of just gradually getting hungry after exertion, let's say? All those can be little tip-offs that maybe you're not absorbing or that you are lacking something.
Yeah, like, it's really, really interesting that these bacteria and fungi and yeasts and all these things that are in your gut actually can communicate to your body. So when you get these wild sugar cravings, it's often because this yeast and bacteria is out of control that craves those things and feeds off those things. And that actually can tell your body to go and get more sugar. So sometimes that sugar craving actually isn't your fault. It's an invader in your body that's telling your body what to do. and is like this like controlling parasitic type of growth, and it's actually telling you to go eat sugar. Like, it's pretty crazy that, you know, this gut flora can have this much power over us. But if you think that there's more bacteria in your gut than there is human cells in your body, it starts to make sense why it has so much power over you. So,
I'm just thinking too, like, it was my birthday week, birthday month is what we like to call it around here, but we've been indulging on lots of sugary baked goods from family, but then also at our favorite bakeries, which we love. And of course, we're looking for all the good ingredients, but it's still, when it comes down to it, it's sugar. And we don't usually eat very much sugar. And so now that we've started, it's almost like it's become this, like it's taking over. And we have noticed the effect in our mood. So just thinking about how that could be playing tricks on my gut, which it obviously has. I've had to deal with some gut issues this week. So I'm pulling upon my favorite products here to help me with that. But it does affect you on so many different levels. So not just little bloating that can happen, but also it's obviously doing something with my gut flora, and it's throwing my mood off a little bit, right? Like, it's almost like I'm craving that next hit of sugar. And if I don't get it, I feel like a lower mood, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So our mood is definitely connected with our gut flora as well. And that's where a lot of our they've found, right, that there's serotonin receptors in our stomachs. Is that
no? The bacteria contributes to growing and making serotonin. So like
cool.
Your gut system is actually really important
right?
for the serotonin that goes through your system. And so yeah, there are serotonin receptors there, but there also can it makes a large portion of the serotonin for your body. So when your gut flora is out of whack and your GI system's not working, you're actually going to end up being low in serotonin. It's pretty, again, we don't even understand everything that goes on within our GI system yet, let alone the rest of our bodies. We're still trying to figure a lot of things out. But yeah, so why is all this gut flora important? Well, Gwen touched on one thing, is that the serotonin is really important. It's an important part of what that GI tract does. It actually helps produce that. So that's one thing that these bacteria do. Another thing they do is they help you digest the food. But if you've got the wrong kind in there, it's not digesting it the way you want. It also actually helps transform and absorb minerals and vitamins. So when you don't have the right gut flora, again, you're not absorbing all these things, transforming them into the proper formats that your body can use. So it really starts to throw things off. You also touched on the sensitivity issues. So a lot of people will end up getting more and more sensitivities as these certain bacteria grow, because you're not able to digest the food you used to be able to digest. And it really becomes apparent because you become very bloated, and we see this a lot. There are people obviously who have celiac, but there are people who just have gluten intolerance, and then there are people who just have gluten sensitivities, and often they can correct those if they correct their GI tract. And so you're able to kind of rewire down there and get things moving in the right direction, and you can go back to having gluten again. That doesn't apply to everyone, of course, but for some people, it's only a sensitivity. It's not an actual allergy or reaction that they're having.
Yeah, because we know people with like actual allergic reactions to gluten, and that's a whole other ball game, right? So there's ways that we can make good choices about what we're putting into our bodies, and looking for that high quality nutrient dense foods, and then just eliminating the overly processed ones that do have a lot of those synthetic glutens and other ingredients that can really wreak havoc on our guts. So yeah, so it's important what we put in our body on so many levels, and you probably can tell that from yourself in the diet that you eat, and when you've gone off track and when you're eating really well, you tend to notice those differences, whether they be very subtle or whether they're extreme. And sometimes when we notice those extreme reactions, that's often a clue to us. It's our body's giving us a signal that, hey, like something is wrong here, and we're kind of going into sound the alarm zone here. Like something's off track. If you feel any quick or sudden changes in how your overall health feels, mood feels, stomach issues, bathroom, whatever, then that's a little clue that something else is going on, and that we should address that, right? So we need to stop, examine it, and then take all the preventatives that we can before it turns into something. Because any of these things, if we leave them I don't want to say untreated, but if we don't pay attention to them and make the right steps forward, then we know that that just sort of snowballs into a bigger and bigger issue that can become chronic, or something that can become a worse issue than just having a little gas or a little bloating, right? So,
Yeah. So then we got the only part that's left is talk about the terminal end.
Yeah.
For bowel movements. If you're not having a bowel movement every 24 hours, that food in your body is not designed to be in there for longer than that. So if you're not having a bowel movement every 24 hours or more, something's up. And some people have been like this for years, one every 2 to 5 days. That's not good, right? That's a lot of stuff sitting in there that is cooking at 99 Fahrenheit. That's you don't want that. So definitely that is a clue that you need to find out what's wrong and work towards fixing that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's talk about solutions.
Let's talk about some solutions. All right, so we've laid out some really nice ones here. We always, you guys know this, we must sound like we're an old record that's being worn out, but the Lifelong Vitality supplements are going to cover all those bases for you. We know that an apple, I keep using this apple reference today, an apple
All
today
the apples.
is not the same as an apple 50 years ago because of things like Derek's mentioned about the chemicals and being treated and that kind of thing. But as well, like our soil is just not as nutrient rich as it was before. We know this, and this isn't a secret, but a lot of people don't know about it because it's not really talked about, that the soils are being depleted of those vital nutrients and vitamins. And so what that means is the food that's produced in those conditions don't carry as much as the essentials that we need. So as great as choices that we're all making, as many plants as we eat, we're still not getting that nutrition that our bodies need. And what's really neat about the Lifelong Vitality is that it's done in a way that your body recognizes and absorbs these nutrients and vitamins. They're not overdosing you like on so many over-the-counter brands that you've probably looked at. You can see how they're macro dosing the amounts of vitamins that are in the pill bottle. With LLV, it's all food derivatives and very natural. So, and they're infused with essential oils, which makes it really nice and easy on your gut. So, Lifelong Vitality has to be talked about. If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try it. There's a 30-day trial that they give you your money back if you have not seen improvements in things like overall energy, vibrancy, health, and healthy inflammation responses. So let them put, I always want to say these things the wrong way. I'm not going to say a catchy phrase, right? Let them live up to that. How about that? Let them live up to that guarantee. And if you're not feeling it, give them a call and say, hey, I tried these for 30 days. We would say try it for longer than 30 to give it a fair shot. But 30 days should be all you need to see a difference in your life right now versus your life when you're on LLB.
Yeah, you do it for 90 days, you're going to see a much greater effect, but you should see changes in 30 days. And if you don't, that's why they have that guarantee.
And many people notice it within like 2 weeks is usually when people are seeing differences. So with the Lifelong Vitality, they have a whole supplement line that can be very helpful. And one, if you haven't heard about Terrazyme, this one is available in Canada now.
Yep.
And if you want to go back through some of our videos, we'll have to pull them up here on YouTube. But Derek did an experiment with Terrazyme and how it can actually help to really break down the foods for you. And I don't know if you can see my hand. If you can, I look really funny. It helps to break down the foods for you so they can be easily digestible. Derek mentioned as we get older that we lose our body's ability to break down food in the most efficient manner. And so this definitely helps us. It helps to pull those nutrients out. For myself, I used to be deficient in iron, and I'm not taking an iron supplement anymore. I'm taking Lifelong Vitality, and I'm taking things like Terrazyme, and of course paying attention to all the good things in my diet, but all your bases are covered, even though it's not a mega dose of iron, let's say, right? So that's a really cool thing. This is gonna help you to absorb those vitamins that you should be absorbing properly.
Yep.
Anything else with Terrazyme?
That was it. It's just got a whole bunch of enzymes in there that your body needs to break down food.
Yeah, it's really just great, and you feel good when you eat this with your meal. It just really helps to allow everything to go as it should, right? Make your body a more efficient machine, let's say.
Let's talk about the probiotic part of it.
Yeah.
So if you have been on antibiotics or you haven't done anything with this for a while, it's always good to start with sort of like a cleansing. And so it is recommended that you do a GX Assist, which is like a cleansing capsule. And what that's going to do is help clean out some of that bacteria overgrowth that can be in there, yeast and everything else, so that you get rid of some of that bad stuff to make room for the new good stuff. So that's recommended for 10 days.
Yeah, and it's usually good to do it whenever there is a seasonal change. So definitely from summer to fall is like a big change, like Derek was mentioning. And so this is something that we're going to be doing too. If you want more info, let us know. We can connect you with that. But it's good to sort of cleanse the palate of your stomach, so to speak, and start fresh. And with pro and prebiotics, that's going to be very helpful because even if you are or you have not been on antibiotics, like you said, it could still be in the foods that you're eating. So that is impacting your gut. So you'll want to make sure that you're looking at maybe that kind of cleanse idea.
Yep. And then you follow it up with either the PB Assist Junior or PB Assist capsules, which are for adults.
Yeah, which we need more PB Assist, or we'd show you, because they're really cool double encapsulated capsules that allow for it not just to be into your stomach, but to actually go down into your intestines and allow it to do its magic and then release all the wonderful bacteria that need to be released there. So they don't just get disintegrated up in your stomach, it actually passes through. So they're definitely one of the, if not the best pro and prebiotic out there, right?
Very good, yep.
And then the PB Assist Junior that Derek's talking about, when you get the welcome package from us, we include samples of this. And so they look like little pixie sticks and they're prebiotics for your kids, but we can eat them too. Yep. And these are like my kind of candy. So they're nice and sweet. They're kind of crunchy like those pixie sticks. They're tasty. You can definitely pack one in your kid's backpack if you wanted for their lunch. Since we're out of the PB Assist, we take 2 of these a day, and that works the same way as the PB Assist would work. What else do you want to say about that?
Yeah, good for you and your kids,
Yep.
but not for your dog.
No
pets for that because it has xylitol in it. So if you are looking for a probiotic for your pup, the PB Assist capsules are good for dogs, but not the PB Assist Junior.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing with PB Assist Junior is if you don't like that kind of crunchy, kind of sugary texture, it's not sugar, but it's got that kind of candy texture. You can put it in a glass of water and let it, just disintegrate in there, and it's kind of like flavored water in a way. So that's another way to take it if you don't like the kind of candy way that we do.
Yep.
There's a whole line of digestion helpers, right? And so if you shop on the US side, you're going to see more options. So everyone has that option on their wholesale account, is you can purchase from either the Canadian warehouse or the American one. Until everything gets approved by Health Canada, we're allowed to order from both warehouses. So if you go shopping on the US warehouse, you're going to find the Digest tab. So if you're more used to those chalky, we won't use name brands. So if you have the fizzies in your throat, in your stomach, you usually pull out one of those little tablets that are kind of chalky. If you would like a more natural version, you can get that with the Digest tabs. They're very pepperminty, and they work very quickly for things that are fizzing all the way up in your throat, which is annoying.
Yes. One thing to note, we talked about a little bit earlier about these acid blocking medications for your stomach, like pantoprazole and Nexium and all these different ones that are out there. If you do all this stuff and you're feeling a lot better, you may be tempted just to go off that medication. You should always talk to your doctor about that, and they'll advise you on the best way to go off that medication. If you're feeling much better and you don't think you need that medication anymore, then you want to talk to them about how to go off of it, because you should not just quit taking it like cold turkey, right? That actually can have a rebound effect, and you can have a lot of issues with that. So you want to talk to your doctor about how to get off that medication, and they'll definitely coach you on the best way, or your pharmacist. But that's the thing, is like all of these things can work so well, you actually can reduce that. And I used to have really bad reflux, to the point I had reflux asthma, which is horrible. And it's horrible for your partner,
Yes.
who has to listen to you breathe at night
Try to
as
sleep
you
with
wheeze
that.
away. And to be able to get rid of that and to come off that medication was fantastic, and I'm very happy I was able to do that. And that can absolutely be something you can achieve, but it's not always for everyone.
Yeah, and I think you have to look at it like whatever it is that's ailing you or making you lean towards finding out what the issues are or what you can swap out, or if you're having any of those questions going on in your mind right now as we're speaking, think about like the core issue. So when I talk about digest tabs, sure, that's great when I have the occasional fizzing in my throat, but if you're always having that burning fizzing in your throat, like that needs to be addressed and looked at, because there's obviously underlying conditions that are, or something's going on there that you should get a deeper look at that and see like, well, what is it? Because our bodies are giving us those warning signs, so you want to listen to them. Yeah, and with Derek having his condition that he had before, it wasn't just take one oil and all of a sudden everything's fantastic.
No, I changed my diet, and I took out some things in my diet that was really bad for me and causing issues. I lost weight, and I added in all these products, and all these things together was the combination for me that worked.
Exactly. And then with the oils, they were like this little bridge that would help him through. So in that journey for him, like, you know, he had certain oils that he used to ease that discomfort, but it wasn't to hide the discomfort, because he needed to get through it and he needed to work through the bigger issues that were causing that challenge for him. So although we want to just wave a magic wand, that's not how things will work if we want it to work for forever, right?
Exactly.
So long lifestyle changes are, of course, what every doctor is going to tell you, what we're always going to tell you, that it's not just one thing or another. We can help in little ways, but doesn't it feel better to address the core issue and to have that be taken care of instead of just throwing band-aids at problems all the time, right? So
Exactly.
and occasionally things happen, like, gosh, like, you know, who knew we were going to pig out on sugar all week? Well, now we're having some digestive issues, so we're going to have to take some,
Gotta get back on track, right?
Digest
It's okay.
Zen has been used more this week than I think we've used it all year, because our stomachs have been generally good. So if you find that your stomach's getting crazy because maybe you indulged in too much sugar or whatever it was, you can take your Zengest, just put a drop or two. Fractionated coconut oil is always what we recommend to others, just in case of any skin irritation, but you rub it on your stomach in a clockwise motion. You can add a drop in your belly button if you feel comfortable doing that. You can take a drop under your tongue or put it in a nice hot cup of tea. All those are great ways to get Digest Zen in you. It's a wonderful combination of oils that work together in a synergistic way to help calm and to help your stomach through the issues that it's going through. If you have little ones that, like Derek was talking about, poop, if they haven't pooped in a while, and that causes a lot of discomfort. We've heard so many wonderful testimonials from people to try that on their stomachs, or the kids' version of Digest Zen or Zengest, which is tamer. So again, same idea, but it just has some lighter oil, so it's not as stingy to the nose. It's a lot more gentle, like spearmint, and I think it's copaiba in here. But yeah, so there's lots of options that you can use to help with that occasional stomach upset. But yeah, think about why is the stomach stuff happening and what can you do at that core level to help to solve that issue. A lot of times as a teacher, I had so many students that would come into school on the daily complaining of stomach issues. And I have a sore stomach, an upset tummy, and that was always something that I had to deal with as a teacher. And for the many times over, of course, sometimes they were just sick with whatever, but a lot of it had to do with stress and anxiety. So if you've noticed that, and that's why we say, like, check in with your doctor and see, like, what else could be going on, but a lot of anxiety can tend to show up in terms of stomach upset.
Yeah, well, actually, stress increases the acid level in your stomach. You get more acid in there, more than you should have. They start to have an upset stomach, and it's not just them crying wolf, like they actually are having those feelings, and their stomach does feel upset, and they do feel nauseated from those things. And you know, it's not because they're sick, but it definitely is because they're not feeling well. Yeah,
and that's something that I'm sure a lot of parents are noticing right now, sending your kids to school in this pandemic world, is that you might have little ones, or maybe you're a teacher or an educator and you're noticing that yourself. Every time before you go to work, you're noticing a stomach issue. That's something that I really dealt with. My stomach would bloat so much some days. I looked like I was like 9 months pregnant. Like, it was that my stress hormones and everything were so out of whack that it literally made my stomach like just bust out. And so if you're thinking that maybe that could be a reason for your stomach upset, of course, check in with your doctor, but why not give it a whirl with some of the oils that can help to bring down that fight or flight response, or to help to promote it. Anyways.
Adaptive or calmer are great options.
Yeah.
And balance also really good. So any one of those three or all three.
Yeah, and sometimes even too, with the stomach, it can also bring up some head tension issues. And so if you notice, if you've tried the old standbys for head tension or for stomach issues, try adaptive and see what happens. So this is one that you just smell, or you can put it on your skin topically, but see, can that help those areas? And I bet you'd be surprised how many times something like adaptive can help with stomach and head tension. So anyways, give that a whirl, because sometimes a lot of those issues, stress affects our gut, and our gut affects our immune system and our overall body and our overall mood and everything. So check your stress levels, check and see, do you need some extra support with that? And there's lots of support available. So there is the oil you can use in the diffuser or topically, and there's also the supplement that you can look into as well. It's stressful times, and so I wouldn't be surprised right now if everyone that's watching is dealing with some sort of stomach issue, and maybe unknowingly it's stress, caused by stress maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's like the general stuff, but if you have something specific, don't hesitate to reach out to Gwen or I, and we can kind of work through whatever issues going on for you and help you out with the right thing that can get you down the right path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And just listen for the signals that your body could be giving you. If there's something odd that you don't usually have happen, take that as a time to sit back and ask yourself, what have I changed? What's different? Like in terms of food, in terms of stress, in terms of cleaners in your home. We talked a lot and have done a session on detoxifying your living situation. Your cleaners, the stuff that you're breathing in right now, especially air quality is a big concern. So check in, where can I replace any of those synthetics that you've been using? Guilty, I used to use them too, so don't feel like this is coming from someone who hasn't had experience. They could be causing unneeded harm right now, and swap them out for your oils. You have your masks on, make sure that you are cleaning those masks. Because of course bacteria and all that can get on your mask too, which can cause stomach issues for you. Do all you can do in these times, but know that you have the power to actually change the way it could look for you and your family by making simple swaps and by just paying attention to what your body needs. You might just need sleep. Maybe that's why your stomach's going all crazy.
Sleep's also good.
Right, so go back and watch the sleep video if you think, oh yeah, you know what, I haven't been sleeping for 2 months. Yep, go check in on those tips that we have, because there's a lot to sleep other than just getting a good night's rest. There's so much going on with your brain and with your body. So listen to your body's cues if something's been different. Or if someone has mentioned to you, hey, guess what? You haven't been sleeping at night, or you've been kind of cranky, or whatever, right? Make sure you bring that up, or ask people around you. Have you noticed anything different about me? Because maybe they'll notice the signals that you're not recognizing yet. So yeah, the gut, there's so much to it. It does impact your overall health and well-being, so make sure you're taking care of it. Make sure you're really making wise choices about what you put in your body. Lots of water. We didn't even mention water.
Water's very important.
It's very important for gut health too. You need to be getting that water in your system. I know it's tough, and it's tough to do it not add in a whole bunch of sugar and junk. So if you're looking for ways to flavor your water, you can use citrus oils. Use a drop in a glass container or stainless steel. Just 1 drop's all you need, and it's fantastic for you and for overall detoxification, and it's not going to be harmful to your teeth, right? So it's different than putting a whole lemon in your water, because you're just getting the essential oils from it and not the actual pulp.
No acid. So essential oils are neutral, right? They're 7.0 pH, whereas when you're drinking lemon water all day, there is some negatives to that if you're not rinsing out your mouth or brushing your teeth. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll throw that in as a last minute tip to get your water in, but it is really important to make sure you're not just drinking coffee all day long. Make sure you're having some water and some hydration, because of course we know that could be a stomach issue as well. So there's so much to talk about in the gut. I'm glad that you're here to give us your expertise on the gut health and what you've learned. And of course, he's made it simple for us, but if you want to talk his ear off or have him talk your ear off, know that Derek loves to talk about it. So reach out to us if you are having some issues, and we'll see how we can be of help.
All right.
On
That's
that
it.
note, let's go have some water.
Everyone go drink some water. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day. Stay safe.
Bye.